Here's a weird theme for a video. Some books I'm giving to a guy named Dave. Maybe I'll always make videos when I give a stack of books away or something, because it's like a theme. Like, I sent a box of books to my nephews. What's up, Sam and Charlie? And I recorded a video talking about all of them that I then saved on my phone, but I must have deleted it at some point because I can't find it anymore. Lost media. But it's not because no one will look. But I love sending books to people. It's always fun if I have a reason for it. And the giveaway is not too painful. I don't know. That's kind of my mode with, like, I definitely have books I keep and I wouldn't readily give away. Especially since I've been burned a couple times by the worst book visitors of all, askers. Oh, this looks cool. Can I have it? Never ask, you greedy people. You get given books. You don't ask for them. Anyway, I still think about this one band that stayed with us and took my copy of My Life in the Bush of Ghosts. It was a time in my life. If I was ever on a show and they were like, think of a time when you were too polite, I would think of that. Because I wish I still had that book. It's kind of hard to find. And I didn't like how this person basically begged it off me. These books here are being given freely with an open heart to a really interesting person. This guy is wild. You know, jobs are funny because they force you into hanging out with people that you probably wouldn't normally hang out with. And that's not an insult. It's just like you're in different walks of life. You're different ages, you know, demographics, etc. The office environment I'm in right now, this admin at a front desk of my old high school, admin secretary. It's interesting on a level I was thinking about because, like, on one level, everyone keeps it really apolitical and they, like, you know, you just have agreed upon civil discourse and everyone's very friendly and lifts each other up in, like, what they're working on and doing. I hear a lot of positivity and so on. And, like, and that goes for everyone I'm talking about here. But the security guards actually have, like, an actual cop among them. And so they're not doing that apolitical office talk thing. They're just talking about whatever. And a lot of times they're like mad about the news from a right wing perspective. And, you know, that's interesting. So you have these two elements kind of mixing. And you do have like academic lefty teachers walking through. And, you know, one of them might say something about climate change or something once in a while. Get everybody going. I need to remount this picture. It just fell. Anyway, so it's a strange mix. It's like two different sorts of work environments blurring, and I'm literally at the desk right in the middle of the two environments. So it's weird. And really, there's three environments because you have students constantly coming and going, high school students. Today I heard that there's a high school student, a Middle Eastern young woman who's 18, who's married already. I'm like, whoa, that's wild. You really hear some stuff. Sometimes you'll be at work and you'll just be doing paperwork and stuff, but right next to you is a kid shouting obscenities into the faces of a crowd of adults refusing to give up his phone, crying at the thought of having to hand over his phone and earbuds. Man, that's so gangster. And this kid, like, probably, yeah. Yeah. I worry that viewers of this BookTube channel might get a negative view of Albuquerque because it's really awesome. I need to take my camera out into the surrounding desert and the mountains and the coolest parts of town on a fun night or something. I don't know. Do I? No. This is about books. But just something to give a little more of an impression than, like, you know, royal graffiti and the general poverty of my surroundings. Well, I don't know if you know this, but you've built up a real fan base. Most people only watch this channel because of you. That's the word. What do you have to say for your fans? Your adoring fans, quietly demanding merch in their minds. Milton Glaser. What a cat. Look at this cat. Look at that. Come on. I mean, come on. This cat's amazing. What a purr. What a beautiful face. You're cute too, Squirrel. Anyway, Dave is an older gentleman who is working school security, and he walks around like wearing a black vest covered in all sorts of stuff. I'll tell you, the more I talk with this guy, the more I'm like, are you the most interesting person I know? I mean, I often have this happen with people I talk with, but the other day he walked up and just showed me like this weird light bobbing around on his phone. He's all, those are the Marfa mystery lights. I filmed them myself. What do you think, Squirrel? But I've had this book kicking around ever since my dad drove through Marfa like 30 years ago, probably. Had this in my collection a long time, and I maybe passed through Marfa once, but I've never. No, I wouldn't have. I would have stopped. I think I did though. Yeah, probably more than once. But it's getting taken over by the artists. That's kind of cool. I'm okay with that. The Marfa lights being a collection of first-hand accounts by people who have seen the lights close or in unusual circumstances and related material. By Judith M. Bruschi, PhD. Gotta love a typewritten book. I love an original small press thing. Staple binding is my least favorite binding, but that's not true. Spiral binding is. I hate that stuff.
I was so bummed out when copy shops switched to this spiral sort of binding exclusively. I mean, it's great if you want something to lie flat, but it looks terrible on a shelf, or I don't know, it just doesn't look like it belongs on a shelf. Guess it's fine, but I don't like it. You also can't see what it is, and look what's so much better.
Kind of clamp binding. I love these clamp bindings. You could get this done at copy shops back in the day. They put planks on either side and kind of bolt through it all the way. They look so good. They look good on shelves. You could print out an old public domain dissertation like this. Write something on the side, and you got yourself a book that you can put on a shelf. I mean, yeah, I don't love the handwritten shelf thing, but when it's a historic document, an artist could really decorate a spine. But these, just regardless, I love these clamps. They're so nice. Anyway, the Marfa Mystery Lights are really interesting. They might be explained by an atmospheric phenomenon in this valley, that when cars drive by, their headlights go into this air and are kind of then seen to have a strange effect. That's totally possible, but one thing that, is an asterisk on that is that these lights go back a long time. People have been seeing them there before car headlights, so interesting. But then Dave told me just today, and I've been talking with this guy a while, and what? He raised wolves for 20 years, and he started just showing me all these wolf pictures on his phone, and he had like a property out in the country, and he just lived with the wolves. I'm like, dude, you're awesome. He's also like a biker dude that like has tattoos. He has a giant tattoo of a wolf on one arm. The Wolves of North America. This is a beautiful book, and I have wanted to read it, but I'm not going to read it anytime soon, and I'll just keep my eye open for it at Family Thrift and other thrift stores. I bet it'll turn up again. The Wolves of North America. Yeah, when you like a topic, you keep getting those books, and I feel like this book will come back into my life. And if I ever write about wolves, I'll definitely seek out books about them, so I think he'll get a lot more out of this. And I mentioned that I had lived in Thoreau, New Mexico, and he was like, that's one of my favorite writers. I love Thoreau. And he started going off. Yeah, I've seen this guy with books too, and like classic literature. He's a really unique figure. So like, I do think he's kind of right-leaning. Like, I think he didn't go to this podcast event. I know he is. Because he thought it was going to be like some liberal thing, even though we're all a bunch of freaks. But I started telling him about this, which I think is a great work of nature writing he would really love. And because I told him about how that's how he started talking about wolves, is I told him about Aldo Leopold doing this wolf kill and it turning him to environmentalism. It was a good wide-ranging conversation. We had a slow half hour. Anyway, this is another book. I might even have another copy of this right now, like a nonfiction paperback. But, yeah. Sometimes you got to give a nice copy so that people will be likely to read it. You don't want to give them your rundown paperback or whatever. And this one's kind of a risky choice because I'm sure Barbara Ehrenreich is left of center. But he was just talking about writing letters to his congressman about he's really had like pay issues, and with not like he's like wages should be higher. I'm not getting enough. And I love when you can talk across political spectrums with people and find agreement and stuff. That's awesome. That's what our real concerns in the world are worried about. Everybody talking and setting aside what differences they can to be cool with each other, But, anyway, all these books are good. I've given probably, 20 copies of Nickel and Dimed away, 30 maybe. I mean, I was keeping a copy in my car in the center console no matter what. And anytime I had a meaningful conversation with a fast food worker, which happened with some frequency because, people talk and, if you go to enough fast food, I've had like eras in my life where I just always ate at fast food. And I'll tell you, people at Subway are ready for a revolution. Like Subway, I've had so many like moving conversations with Subway employees where it's just like, yeah, we're all power to the people by the end. But this is just a great book on how hard it is to survive.
And she works all these jobs that are really common jobs. She works for Mary Maids, for Denny's, for Walmart. What else? She lives in a motel night to night and like learns just how difficult that is. She like, I mean, you know, because she really tries to live on just the money she's making during that time and finds it very, very difficult. You know, she has like safety valves for her experiment here and there. But, you know, she is such a good writer. Barbara Ehrenreich is really one of the great political thinkers, I think, you know, in essay form of the last few decades. I know she's not around anymore, but she's such a good synthesis of so many things. I mean, Dancing in the Streets, that was a book that really changed my life. It made me turn away from isolation and depression. It's a history of collective joy. That's the subtitle. And just become really social and go out more and like seek friendships and stuff, and led to really good chapters of my life and turning around my brain chemistry for a while. When a book really resonates with you, whatever it is, that's powerful. It's awesome. Hopefully it's not something that will ruin your life with lies or something, you know. But her work's not. Her work is really meaningful. Her book, Witches, Nurses, and Midwives, is really good too. I do fear, based on the conversation I had recently with a crowd of anti-vax parents, that it's a book beloved by people that think it negates science or vaccinations. Barbara Ehrenreich was totally pro-vaccine, I'm sure. She wouldn't have been anti-vax. She's like a rational, scientific-minded writer in most ways. This book's powerful. Also, I went to, like, I think it was a Carl's Jr. one night, and I was talking with the drive-through people. I mean, we were like rallied up after. I don't know what it was. We all like, I was stuck there like for 20 minutes or something, and so we were just chatting it up. But like, I feel like you know, we just were all like talking about the same grievances and difficulties and stuff. And it made conversations like that have made me think like academia has got to reach out to everybody, you know, if they really want to make a difference. Do they really want to make a difference? Anyway, maybe this is too many books to give people, but like he'll probably be okay with it. This is, again, that's the wild card. He might be like, I won't read that. But no, I think it's relevant. I think he'll probably, I don't know, this guy might surprise me. He's also into paranormal things and stuff. He's a super interesting person. All right. This has been some books I'm giving to a guy named Dave. Here's Prisma. Hello, beautiful Prisma. Where's Squirrel? I can't find her. Squirrel, I was so worried. So worried about you, Squirrel. Hi, Squirrel. Are you okay with giving those books to Dave? You fine? Okay. Well, say hi to Joseph in France, okay? In Strasbourg. He's a kitty that watches you. He's obsessed with you, Squirrel. Give him a handkerchief. Dabbed with your perfume. Hey, how would you feel about Squirrel being in a very long distance relationship in which she never meets the other cat? Prisma. Squirrel, you really are a beautiful kitty. I see why people like you. I mean, why kitties like you. Yeah, I love Thoreau too. What a thinker. What a fun guy. It's the 100th anniversary of The Great Gatsby, and I've been seeing a lot of news stories about it and responses to it and videos and so on. I already did a video about F. Scott Fitzgerald, but maybe I should do something to... Do I want to chase trends and fads for those sweet, sweet likes and shares? Yes! But next, actually, I can't just film Prisma. I always have to pet her. She's like, why aren't you petting me? You're just holding this square by me, this rectangle. You can interpret the looks, you know, it's just not an option. What's up, baby? No, but next I'm going to look at some more Lake Powell Glen Canyon books. There's all these still to look at. These 4 right here already got looked at. And then these are left to look at. That's a lot of books about Lake Powell and Glen Canyon. But it's also about related and surrounding topics. Like, look, there's some stuff about Everett Ruiz in there. Colorado River. The Escalante River. Whoa. So don't cry. Coolest picture of my past life. One of my past lives. What you doing, Squirrel? You're just thinking about getting up there, but there's some books in your way, maybe? Prisma. I do think you have a good attitude. I'm sorry about what I said earlier when I said you didn't have a good attitude. Because you're purring. You're looking out at the world and you're purring. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Take care.